art deco or something. I don't know what style it is.
Imagine there is a library where every book is a different version of you. A version that was braver, took more risks, and never missed a single opportunity. Which book would you choose? Nora Seed had that chance, and what she discovered was not a lost paradise, but a painful truth. No matter how many lives she lived, she still could not find happiness until she understood this secret. Hello everyone. I'm very happy to be walking with you again today. As usual, today I will talk about the book, The Midnight Library, when life is a library of choices that never happened. Everything begins when Nora Seed, at the age of 35, feels like a failure. She loses her job, her relationships with family and friends crack, and her only cat has just died. In despair, she decides to end her life. But instead of death, she wakes up in the Midnight Library, a magical space between life and death, run by the elderly librarian from her school days. Each book in this library represents a different life Nora could have lived if she had made different choices. And so Nora experiments with a series of alternative lives. First, she tries the life of an Olympic athlete. She competes in the Olympic Games, has fame, medals, admiration. A dream that so many others long for is, in this version, simply her everyday life. But the price she has to pay is this. Her relationship with her brother falls apart because of their different choices. The pressure of performance makes her live in constant fear, where a small mistake could mean being replaced. Her body is in pain, injured, and her mind is always tight like a stretched string. Nora realizes, I'm not happier at all. I'm just suffering in a more glamorous way. Next, she tries the life of a rock star. She becomes the lead singer of a famous band, goes on tour, gives interviews, stands under blinding stage lights. Fans cheer, social media mentions her name, her image appears everywhere. But inside, she is extremely lonely, not knowing who truly loves her and who only loves her fame. There are half-hearted relationships, empty parties. Success does not fill the void inside her. It only makes that emptiness shine more brightly, easier to see. Nora bitterly realizes, being known by the whole world does not save her from the feeling of emptiness. Not giving up, this time she decides to live the life of a research scientist. She is respected, has scientific papers, is invited to give talks. Her life seems very stable and admirable, but music is no longer a part of her. She feels as if she has lost an important piece of herself in exchange for that stability. The questions about meaning, about whether she is truly living or just existing, are still there and do not ease. Finally, she decides to enter the life that has made her say, if only bit, the most in the past. The life where she marries her ex-boyfriend. This is one of Nora's biggest what-ifs. If I hadn't broken up with him, would my life be better? In that book, she marries her ex and has the family life she once imagined. A shop, a house, shared meals. It seems like the dream of a life that is stable, warm, peaceful. But when she actually lives in it, Nora discovers many dark sides, cracks, and wounds that she did not see before or had chosen to ignore. That marriage does not save her from feeling lost. Sometimes it even makes her feel the most lost right inside her own home. She painfully realizes, staying does not automatically mean the loneliness will disappear. Sometimes we are most lonely right next to someone who doesn't truly belong to us. Disappointed, she decides to move far away, to live in Australia, in another city, in a life where she does not miss any opportunity. Nora lives in another country, in another city, with a different job, in different relationships. But whether in London, in Australia, or anywhere else, one thing does not change. She is still Nora. With her insecurities, her sense of inferiority, her fears, her habit of speaking badly to herself. And she carries all of that with her into every life. Each life has its own light and shadows. There is no version that is a full option combo, 100% happiness, no suffering. At this point, Nora gradually understands that the problem does not lie in the circumstances, but in the way she brings herself into those circumstances. In fact, what Nora goes through is the road not taken syndrome. In psychology, this is called counterfactual regret. We always think, if I had chosen differently, everything would be better than now. We constantly compare our current life with the imagined version in our head. We keep feeling that our present life is the worst version. But the other lives that Nora tries on show us a different truth. Each choice comes with its own kind of loss. There is no choice that is free of pain. All of us carry some form of illusion about a perfect life. In that life, we are richer, more beautiful, more successful, more loved, and almost never have to pay any price for anything. The Midnight Library gently but clearly strips away that illusion. Happiness does not come from finding the perfect timeline, but from how we choose to live in the timeline we are already in. Through that, the author expresses a classic philosophy, the existential nature of choice. There is no choice that is absolutely right. The existential philosophy in the book reminds us of one thing. We are the sum of our choices. Every choice has its price. There is no choice that is 100% right in every situation. What matters is not finding the perfect choice, but committing to the choice we make and creating meaning from it. When we stand too long at a crossroads, staring at the roads we did not take, we get stuck in regret, comparison, and self-blame, and we never truly live fully on the path already under our feet. After living through countless lives, Nora gradually realizes that her current life, with all its cracks, mistakes, and wounds, is the only life she still has the power to change. In the other lives, things have already happened. She just arrives in the middle and then leaves. Only in her original life does she truly have time ahead of her to do things differently. She understands that she still has a chance to mend her relationship with her brother. She can find a new job that fits her better. She can choose to reconnect with old friends, and most importantly, she can learn to stop treating herself like an enemy. In the decisive moment when the library begins to collapse, Nora chooses not to keep running away into other lives, but to return to the very life she once wanted to throw away. She wakes up in the hospital, having survived her suicide attempt. Her real life does not magically turn into a fairy tale. But this time, Nora looks at it with different eyes. Less judgment, more gratitude, more willingness to try again, speak again, and begin living her life with a new sense of appreciation. In the end, this book points us back to a very old but never outdated truth. The happiness we struggle so hard to find is not in having more, but in letting go of impossible expectations and cherishing what we already have. Thank you for staying with me and with Nora until the end of today's journey. Before we finish, I have a small question for you. If you had a choice like Nora, what would you want to change? If you feel comfortable, you can share your thoughts. If not, keep them for yourself and draw your own lesson for your own life. Because more than anyone else, you are the one who understands yourself best. Our little walk today ends here. See you again in the next journeys, with many other stories waiting to be opened. Goodbye for now.